Ethan, it's a pretty crazy time right now.
Absolutely.
So that's why in this minisode we are going to be paying respects to both the medical field and doctors at large.
By just talking, not doing any actionable things. So that feels kind of disingenuous.
We are going to be creating our top 3 medical/doctor films. It was going to be 5, but this is, I don't know about you, I had a
tricky
very
list.
tough time.
Yeah.
I was very close to putting The Fugitive on this list. That just didn't seem right, though.
All right, number 3, The Fugitive. I'm gonna be real. I also almost put The Fugitive on this list. But obviously, yes. We are going through a pandemic right now. We understand the importance of our wonderful medical professionals. We trust their opinions. And we want to highlight some movies that are about them so that you can, because obviously there's not enough going on presently to make you think about the medical field. You got to have some movies to supplement it. I say, knowing that's not true. But we wanted to talk about some movies with doctors in them. So we're going to do that. David, what's your, what's the first one on your list?
The first one on my list is, Steven Soderbergh's Contagion. It kind of covers the whole gambit of everything going on right now. And I honestly just couldn't think of another one. It was also between Side Effects, which like also kind of falls more into like the pharmaceutical side of things. But I think it's a worse movie. So I was like, I'll just go with Contagion. Because I didn't feel okay putting The Fugitive on the list. Which, I'm not going to lie, was on the list for quite some time.
For sure.
Ethan, what's your number 3?
Well, not all movies about doctors have to be positive. Some of them can be really dark and bad. And mine is The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Oh, damn.
And, it doesn't really fit in with the goal of this episode, which is to promote the integral part that doctors play in our society. But I'm gonna be real with you, there's not a lot of movies about doctors.
There are like a few that I just haven't seen. Like I haven't seen Awakenings.
I haven't seen Patch Adams.
I haven't seen, what is it? Not A Dangerous Mind. Something Mind.
A Beautiful Mind?
The one with no, I've seen A Beautiful Mind. Not a big fan. The one with like Keira Knightley and Viggo. I don't know. Forgot what it's called.
I haven't seen The English Patient.
Neither have I.
I haven't seen The Elephant Man.
Neither have I. You know what I have seen though? And this one, not quite to the same extent as Killing of a Sacred Deer, but takes a look at the medical industry as a whole and a lot of its faults and issues, and that is Dallas Buyers Club.
Interesting. Okay. I thought we were going to have the same number 2 for a second, but we didn't.
This is a brutal film looking at the effects of AIDS on Matthew McConaughey's character, Ron Woodruff, and how he has to go outside of the system to be able to get the coverage that is necessary to survive.
Absolutely.
Really weird film to see with my aunt and uncle.
An Oscar-winning film.
It is. It's a great film. I
haven't seen it.
It's intense. You haven't seen it?
Nope.
And also we got Jennifer Gardner in here, actually kind of acting.
Oh, fun. New.
But no. I mean, this is one of McConaughey's finest pieces of acting.
I mean, it's no Sahara.
Sahara. Don't fucking shit on Sahara, because both of these films have Steven Zahn in it. So don't shit on my favorite movie.
Did they
of all
really
time,
both?
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes, they do.
You know Steve Zahn? You know where he's from? Mankato,
Australia?
Minnesota, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
That so makes sense.
Doesn't it?
That really does. Ethan, what's your number 2? What movie did you think was going to be on my list?
Well, so
my
this
talkings
movie,
of the failings?
again, going on the, medical industry's got some flaws, huh? This movie's all about the flaws of the medical industry. That's the Michael Moore documentary Sicko.
Never seen this, but
Very
I bet
good.
it's great.
I like Michael Moore. He is very he very much has a style as a filmmaker. You can immediately tell it's a Michael Moore documentary.
I kind of realized that our intro is like, hey, we're going to pay respects to the fucking doctors and nurses and medical industry as a whole, but we're just going to pick movies that completely tear them apart.
I have one positive one. Don't worry. Okay.
Dude, mine. But all mine are bad.
So
Sicko
Sicko was released in 2007. It's all going through most of it's going to be about the pharmaceutical industry, right? So taking on Big Pharma, so it takes on Pfizer, Eli Lilly, bunch of them, right? And there were a lot of big ups that were like, none of our employees can talk to Michael Moore for this movie. But it's interesting because I think it started trying to figure out, hey, what's going on with our healthcare system, and then it's like, oh, hey, why does Big Pharma suck shit? And it's in the top 10 highest grossing documentaries of all time. So whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
How many of the top 10 highest grossing documentaries of all time are
Michael Moore documentaries? Well, it made more than Bowling for Columbine, which is interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would have not guessed that.
Well, I mean, Bowling for Columbine also didn't have the hype going into it. That one kind of got a lot afterwards, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because that, of course, won the Oscar for doc. Whereas Sicko was only nominated. Yeah, Sicko is a really, really interesting look into Big Pharma. Obviously, now a lot of the information is like, oh yeah, we all know. But at the time, it wasn't as well known, right? There wasn't as much of a magnifying glass on it.
Right.
But it's still, hey, I will say, doctors are still good, even though some of them get lobster dinners from Big Pharma.
So, speaking of good doctors...
Is it the good doctor?
They wouldn't be anything without really good nurses by their side. And that's why I picked, for my number one, the 1975 Milos Forman film, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Which... follows one of the best nurses of all time, Nurse Ratched. She's a gem. This follows Jack Nicholson, who is a criminal who pleads mentally insane and gets admitted into a mental institute.
And in this movie, he's playing a character.
And have you seen this?
I have not.
God damn it! What the fuck?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's a very, very good film with a lot of heart. It's very tragic. It's very hard to watch. And I think if you're a Nicholson fan, you gotta watch it. But I also think this is so different than I think what you would probably think of when you think of a Nicholson film, depending on like what Nicholson you are used to.
Which Nicholson are you? Hi, I'm Daniel Buzzfeed, creator of Buzzfeed.
What? And it's also
you're Sourdough Nicholson. Oh,
I hate my life. It's also got one of the most terrible characters of all time in Nurse Ratched, who is also getting her own Netflix spin-off series, which was like just announced. So that
how do you feel
never
about
happens.
that?
So I feel like it's gonna be very, very interesting. Like, she's definitely an interesting character who I would like to delve into more. But it's also one of those things where it's like it's like 40 years past the time, and it's like, who the fuck was asking for this? Like, who's like, you know what I really need in my life? A Nurse Ratched origin story. But like, I could also see it being very good, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. You gotta go see the film. You would really dig it, I think.
Yeah.
What's your number one? Yeah, I do. What do you think it is? Like, what do you think One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is?
I think it's a movie.
Accurate. That's it. Lay your number one.
I'm gonna take you back to one of would say one of the biggest names in medical fiction.
Medical fiction. Huh. Now, I just want to marinate in that for a second. Let me just really soak that up. Medical fiction. Okay.
I'm going to take you all the way back, David.
To the beginning of medical fiction?
Do you remember MASH?
You know, I've never seen MASH.
MASH is so good. Alan Alda, incredible. And they made a movie.
This is so hard to hear you.
So
MASH is your number one?
Yes. MASH is genuinely really, really good. MASH is this incredible comedy, right? All about this medical unit during the Korean War. You got Hawkeye Pierce, Trapper John McIntyre, right? Doing all their jokes and goofs and gags. And literally the movie was so good, it won an Oscar and started one of the most successful TV series of all time. It's a Robert Altman film, who you may know more for Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Popeye. But you got Donald Sutherland, you got Elliot Gould fucking killing it. Obviously, it's your boy from Ocean's 11, 12, and 13.
This is beautiful.
But I mean, he killed it in MASH. I don't know, you just gotta watch it. It's super fun. It's very, I don't know, very tongue in cheek with a lot of the jokes. I will say, some of the jokes a little dated. I will preference it with that, but it's still a lot of fun. It won an Oscar.
I want to check it out.
Yeah.
I also did not realize, very embarrassingly, that it was the movie that inspired the show. I mean, like, if you look at how it works today, that's generally typically not how it works. You know, It's just weird. Entourage gave us the Entourage movie. Thankfully, what would we have done without that? Just to pull this back to the beginning of our podcast, it was A Dangerous Mind that I was thinking of, which is the movie all about Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud, starring Michael Fassbender, Viggo Mortensen, Keira Knightley, and Vincent Cassel, directed by David Cronenberg. Imagine Cronenberg taking on the birth of psychoanalysis.
That actually makes sense.
Right?
So, obviously, not all of our movies were about the best of our doctors and our nurses and our wonderful healthcare system that is plagued by Big Pharma and awful insurance and no Medicare for all. But our frontline workers are still doing a really good job. And if you want to, genuinely, if you want to find incredibly positive and heartwarming stories, look to them. Now, you may get frustrated when you look to them and notice that they don't have all the PPE that they require to do their job. That's a fair criticism. But I will say it is not the fault of our nurses and doctors who are doing a fantastic job. Shout out to my sister.
Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, we got lots more like it.
That's right, David. You can go ahead and click that subscribe button and smash that bell for notifications.
Smash it indeed, Ethan. Go ahead and check out some of these clips, or check out our minisodes that we release every Saturday.
Yes, and full episodes can be found on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and what's that right behind you? Oh no, look out! You can't hear because you have a podcast in? It's our podcast, Featurecast Podcast, the film podcast where we do comedy bits sometimes. It's a podcast about film called Featurecast, the Featurecast Podcast. Go and listen to it, you stupid idiot.
Don't call him an idiot right before they go.